Hi, good morning everyone. I hope everyone can hear me. Welcome to Reliance webinar. So today we're going to talk about AutoCAD 2021, what's new. My name is Maxon, and before we begin, for those of you who are listening, if you can, please go into the Q&A session. And in the Q&A session, please key in your name, your company, and your email. So at any time during the webinar, you can actually ask a question, and we will get back to you maybe in a later time after the webinar. So I would like to keep this webinar short and sweet. Your company and your email. So at any time during the webinar, you can actually ask a question and we will get back to you maybe in a later time after the webinar. So I would like Okay, we shall start the webinar now. So today we're going to look into the new features in AutoCAD 2021. And this new version was launched, I think, about a few weeks back in early April. So if you have not gotten yours, these are some of the ways that you can get your latest version. So if you have an active subscription, you can actually log into your Autodesk account, which is accounts.autodesk.com, and then you should be able to download your latest version. On the other hand, if your PC already have an older version of AutoCAD and you have an active subscription, you should be able to go to the desktop app. This is how the desktop app looks like, and you should be able to click install. Just like this one, just like in my sample here, you can click install to install the latest version. As you can see in my the screenshot here is showing launch because I've already installed my latest version. Finally, for those who do not have the AutoCAD license, and you want to try, you can actually just go to the internet and search for AutoCAD trial. You'll be able to download a 30 days trial for AutoCAD 2021. And if you're interested to know more about the license, how to purchase them, you can actually get in contact with Reliant, and we'll be glad to help you on that. So good morning again, everyone. For those who have just joined, I hope all of you are well and healthy at home. This is a live event and I'm recording it actually from my home. So please forgive me if you hear any noises or kids noise. Let's go into the new features. In AutoCAD 2021, there are a number of new features, and I would say that these features are not really huge or large feature, groundbreaking features, but they are just minor features. However, they are enhancement on commands that we use every day. So that is good because it actually improves our productivity. It makes our workflow faster, and we can actually execute the command better. So the first command I would like to talk about is actually trim and extend. This is one of the most well used command, right? If you are an AutoCAD drafter or an AutoCAD user, you will surely use this command. Maybe if you do it whole day, perhaps you might not notice that you might be using it hundreds of times. So in 2021, we have something new whereby when you use the trim and extend, you don't need to actually select the boundary anymore. In previous version, when you start the trim command, you must actually select the appropriate boundary and then you need to select the object, right? So in the newer version, the boundary is selected automatically. This would save our time. So let me show you. Let's go to the software. Okay, this is my AutoCAD 2021 and I'll show you how I use the new trim command. If you're a long-time user, you will definitely use the short key. Otherwise, you can go and look for the trim command inside the ribbon. So I'm going to type my short key, which is TR, right? The default short key for trim. And then I press spacebar. So instead of selecting the boundary, we can straight away select the object that we don't want. Notice when I move my mouse here, I just click. I did not select any boundary. Same thing here, we just click. Again, I repeat, maybe I just click here and click here. and then I press escape. So much faster. It reduces the number of clicks that we need in order to do trim. And sometimes when you do trim, there will be additional small lines which you have to change command to delete to actually remove them. Now you can just use the trim command to actually delete the additional lines. Also in trim, there are several ways that we can do the selection. Just now what I show you is the individual method. Now let me show you the freehand and the fence method to do trim. So going back to AutoCAD now, I type TR and I press spacebar to start the trim command. And now I'm going to click and drag. Yeah? So I click here, click and drag. This is what we call the fence method. You see, I can go, this is called the freehand method. I can draw, like drawing some lines or some curvy lines, and notice as soon as my mouse pass through it, it will trim it. Okay, this is the freehand method. And finally, the fence method, whereby I'll start the command again, TR for trim, spacebar, and I click. This time I'm not going to do the click and drag, but I'm just going to click one time, and then when I move my mouse, it's like drawing a line, right? We call this a fence, so you can see as I move my mouse, it shows a preview of which part is going to get trimmed. So just move here and click, and then press enter. So that's it. Very easy to use this trim command now. This should actually fasten our work. Imagine if you do 500 times of trims in your day, this will help a lot, right? Okay. So actually the extend command is the same with trim. You don't need to select the boundary anymore. For example, I want to extend this line to the boundary here. So I type EX. EX is the command for extend. Press spacebar. And then I move my mouse to the line that I want to extend. Notice AutoCAD will predict where it should go. And then if you see the preview and you're okay with the preview, just click one time and it should be done. So let's try here now. So just move here. Notice if I move to the left, it will go to the left. If I move to the right, it will extend to the right. Click, and then again move here, click, escape. So very easy. Finally, when you do the trim command on the hatch, sometimes we need to trim on the hatch, right? In the older version of AutoCAD, you actually have the hatch actually acts as a boundary, so you have to trim many times. But now in the new one, watch here, I type TR, press spacebar, and I just move my mouse to the hatch area. Notice it will trim the entire line inside. Okay, so this is much more better than the previous version. So I'm going to undo by pressing Ctrl Z. Okay, but if you want to maintain, the style of the method where hatch is acting as a boundary, there is a variable that we can enable actually. Okay, we can actually on and off this variable. It's called trim edges. So let me show you what I mean. Okay, I type TR and then I go to the second option. Okay, let me zoom in. Maybe you can see better. Oops, this is the one, the second option here. It's called trim edges. So I'm going to click the second option, trim edges, and notice it's written the enter new value for trim edges. I'm going to put 0 for off, which means it will become like the old behavior. Okay, now if I type trim, TR for trim, and I try to trim this line, notice what happened? The hatch now acts as a boundary for your trim. So that is trim edges. I want to change it back. We'll delete this one. I want to change it back to the new version. So I have to type TR, and then go to trim edges, and then make sure it is, I press 1 to on the trim edges variable. So that is the first feature that you will notice when you use AutoCAD 2021, the first new feature on trim and extend. Now let's move on to the next feature. Okay, revision cloud. Okay. This is another often used command. Sometimes we need to draw a revision cloud to highlight a certain area. And the problem with the previous versions of AutoCAD is that to set up revision cloud is quite tedious. You actually have 3 settings, if I'm not mistaken, just to set the size of the arc. you got a big arc, a small arc, and something like that. I can't remember clearly anymore since using the new version. So in the newer version, you only have one settings to change actually the size of the revision cloud, which is way much more better. And then also in the new version, revision cloud has its own object type, which is called ref cloud. In the previous version, if you check the properties of revision cloud, it is called polyline, because in previous version a revision cloud is actually just a type of polyline with different settings. Now they have made it its own object, ref cloud. That's why it's easier for us to actually adjust the arc length and other properties. Okay, let's try to have a look. So I'm going back to my AutoCAD, and this is how it looks like, a revision cloud. Let's say I want to put a revision cloud on this area here. So you can look for your command. Where's the revision cloud? I think it's somewhere down here. Yeah, there it is. It's for you, for those of you who likes to use ribbon. Okay, but for those of you who are on keyboard, so it is REV for, and then you select the second option here. Let me zoom in case you can't see. This is the one, the second one. Type REV and take the revision cloud. So the first time we draw a revision cloud, AutoCAD actually automatically decide on the arc size. So it will give you a good head start so that you don't need to do too many adjustments. Okay, but let's say we want to further refine it, we want to change the size of the arc, right? So you can actually select the arc and go to properties, or I prefer to just select the arc and press Ctrl 1. It's the same thing. Control 1 is actually the panel for properties. I'm going to drag this and snap it to the left like this. So once you select a revision cloud, notice here, the object type is a revision cloud. Let me zoom in for you. Okay, there it is, revision cloud, RF cloud. And if you want to change the size of this revision cloud, just go down and look for just one setting. It's called arc length. Let me close this magnification, and now the arc line is showing 300. Let's say if I change it to 500 to let you see, you can see it changes the size of the revision cloud. Or if I change it to very small, maybe 200, enter, and you can see it changes. Aside from that, you can also drag this blue grid. Actually, you can play around to get a feeling that how you can actually further refine your revision cloud if needed. We also have another variable for revision cloud. In case you don't want to use the properties, you can actually type this long variable, ref cloud properties, and then you can actually change the value of the revision cloud. Let me show you this variable. Back to AutoCAD. Okay, I will close my properties, press escape. Okay, so you have to type REV, and then you don't need to type the entire variable, just look for this one, the third one, ref cloud properties. So I click on the ref cloud properties, and then next they ask me for object, so I select on the revision cloud, press enter, and then next they ask me, I'll click on this arc length because I want to change the arc length, and then I can key in. They will show me the current value is 200. Let's say I put it as 500 now, 500, enter, and you will see the revision cloud size changes. But personally, I think it's faster to just use the properties, right? Just select here, because you can actually see the value and quickly change it. Maybe 250, enter, and you update. Okay, so less work for us now when we use revision cloud, less settings. Just one settings for revision cloud. Okay, another command that has been improved in AutoCAD 2021 is actually the break command. Actually, this is a new command. It's called break at point. In the previous AutoCAD, we actually use break command just to break a line, right? But the problem is that the previous break command is not so intuitive. It takes a few clicks and a few tries for you just to break a line without a gap. Okay, and then if you want to repeat again the command to break a line on a certain point, you cannot use the enter command. You have to do again, click several settings just to break at a point. Well, now you don't need to worry about that because we have a new command called break at point, and this applies to 3 different kinds of object, which is line, arc, and open polyline. Okay, so and you can also key in a precise distance, means you can set maybe from here to here is 500 mm or something, and they will break at that point with no gaps. Okay, so let's have a look. Okay, I have a single line here, just a simple line. You see, it's a straight segment, it's not broken. So I want to use the break command, break at point, sorry, the new command. So you have to go to modify. This is where the command is. Let me zoom in. Okay, this is your old command, break. This is the new one, break at point. So from today onwards, use this one. It's much more better than the previous one. Okay, so use break at point. Let me show you how I use it. Okay, instead of using the ribbon, you can also type BR, which stands for break, and then you select the second option, break at point. Okay, click on break at point, and then we select an object and we select where we want to click. You can use the O snap. I'll show you the first method using the O snap. Let's say I want to break really in the middle, so I move my mouse. Because I have my object snap midpoint enabled, I can click here, and that's it. Notice I have one, escape, two different objects. Okay, I'm going to join them, J, and join them to back to the one object. Now I'm going to show you to break a point at a precise distance. Okay, maybe we want to break 300 mm from the left. Okay, so I type BR. Okay, select the second option, break at point. Okay, select the line again. Now move your mouse to the end point, wait for maybe 1 second, and then move your mouse to the right. You'll notice there is a value, there's a number there, so you can now type in your keyboard, let's say 300, enter. Okay, so notice what happened. We have two lines now, break at 300 mm. So to double check, you can actually use the ruler. Okay, I'll talk more about the ruler because the ruler has a new feature also, but I'll just go for this one quick, and notice that it's showing 300. Okay, here is 300. So that is break at point. You can also use break at point on arc and open polyline, right? So again, I type BR, spacebar, select the arc, and then just sorry again, BR, spacebar, BR, select the second option, break at point, and then click the object and select where you want. Let's say here, click, and notice we have a break there. Okay, same thing here, BR, take the second option, break at point, select the open polyline and pick where you want, maybe here, click, and now you can see it is two objects instead of one polyline. Okay, and of course break at point, now you can repeat the command, right? If you want, after you use the command, you just press enter to repeat the command. Okay, so now it's much more easier to use break. Before this, many of us try to avoid using break command because of its complexity. Now it's much more easier, less clicks and faster to use it. We are looking into quick measure. If you have missed our last year's version of what's new AutoCAD 2020, okay, in last year, the quick measure, the measurement tool received an enhancement, which is called the quick measure. This enhancement is very helpful to many people. This year is much more better because they further improve it to enable quick measure to actually calculate area and perimeter in one go. Of course, this is for closed loop, closed area. Okay, so let me show you. Okay, for example, I'm showing. Let me show the previous enhancement first, which is the quick measure, right? Okay, so if you look for the ruler under home, look for the ruler sign, you open it. In all versions of AutoCAD, before 2020, yeah, before 2 years back and before, we have only this one. You can do measure distance, radius, and all. For example, if I want to measure distance, I click on distance, and then I have to click from 1 point to 1 point. Oh, okay, I know the distance. Then I press escape. Okay, but last year in 2020, they have added a new one. It's called quick measure. It's better than the distance command. Okay, if I click quick now, all you need to do is move your mouse to the line. As long as when the line is highlighted, it will show the value. Or move to the circle, or move to the arc, move to the line. Okay, it will show us straight away values. Okay, for example here maybe I want to know the length. Just click and notice it will show me the value straight away. So this is a very helpful and quick method of getting measurement instead of maybe putting dimension just to get measurement, right? Sometimes we do this just to check on the measurement. Okay, so that was last year in 2020. But in this year, they further enhance a little bit the quick measurement tool, whereby we get to also calculate area and perimeter without needing to use this command. Okay, so I click on quick and I will move my mouse and click inside the area. So when you see a green color highlight, now you can see the value is showing here. Let me zoom in for you to see the number. You see, it's written that area, the value, and then the perimeter. So it even, let me close this again. It even, when you click right, it even detect the island inside the circle, so you will avoid it. What happens if you want to calculate also together with the circle? So you hold the shift key in your keyboard and you click inside the circle. Okay, I'm holding down the shift key in my keyboard and I'm also clicking here again to add. So shift key will actually accumulate for you. As usual, right, shift is to add or remove in AutoCAD. So in this case, it will accumulate the area and parameter for you. So the value that you're looking at now is actually the accumulation or the total of all the green highlighted area. Okay, that is going to be useful. So be sure to make use of this quick measurement tool if you have never used it before. And there is a shortcut for that also. The shortcut is MEA. Somehow the shortcut is called measure geometry, but it's actually the quick measurement tool. Okay, to prove to you, I click on the MEA and I type MEA and press space bar. So notice, okay, and click. Okay, so that is MEA. So either use it from here or type MEA for quick measure. So another update that we have in AutoCAD 2021 is on drawing history for cloud storage. If you use any of these cloud storage to store your drawing, OneDrive, Dropbox, or Box account, you can actually, and then you share the drawing with your colleagues, right? You can actually track who edited the drawing. Okay, it will show something like this, and then it will show also the version history. Okay. So I will not be showing this because I'm not connected to any of this cloud, but you can try for those of you who are connected to the cloud storage, any of this cloud storage, just go to view and click drawing history and you should be able to see the history of that particular drawing that you're opening. Okay. Aside from that, in AutoCAD 2021, there's also a huge performance improvement in navigational tools. Navigational tools means 3D orbit, pan, and zoom. Okay. Finally, they are making use of your multi-core processor. Previously, I think they are just using single core to process this rotation and zoom. So now with the new version, you can actually notice a big improvement when you open large file, especially large 3D files. So I'm going to try to open a large, a bigger file now, 3D file. Okay, I'm going to open this one. So this is an architectural building. Inside there are many objects. Later I'll show you. Okay, so now with the new version, if I pan is a bit more smoother, and if I want to rotate is shift middle mouse. It's smoother. Okay, way much more smoother. In the previous version, if you rotate, it'll be lagging like this. Let me show how it lags. Like this. Okay, it will take time to rotate, but now it's much more smoother thanks to the ability of AutoCAD to make use of our multi-core processor. And by the way, I'm just using the old 6th generation i7 in this PC that I'm showing you. So if you're using the newer version of i7, which has 6 cores, I think you will see much better performance than mine. Okay, just to show you what's inside. Okay. By the way, this drawing is not drawn in AutoCAD. I just export it from another software known as Revit, because nowadays I don't really model 3D using AutoCAD anymore. If I'm doing modeling for construction building or construction-based object in 3D, I'll be using Revit. If I'm doing modeling for mechanical or manufacturing-based 3D objects, I'll be using Inventor. So that is both of them are also from Autodesk, and they are much more suitable for doing complex 3D. If you're interested in knowing more about Inventor or Revit, you can drop us a question in the Q&A. We'll get back to you later. Just be sure to put in your name, email, and maybe your contact number so we can get back to you faster. Okay. So I'm going to delete a little bit of the object so that you can see. Let me delete a bit. That this is not just a simple block. Okay, there are quite a number of objects inside here. So it's quite complex. Yeah, you can see we have ceiling, we have furniture, we have handrails, okay, we have staircase, columns, wall, okay, we even have furnitures. Yeah, there's even a cafeteria here. Hold on, okay, you can see, and it's much more smoother. Okay, using the new version of AutoCAD to actually explore and navigate. So who knows, although maybe you're not doing 3D using AutoCAD like me, okay, you're not using 3D, but there will be times when you have to open 3D objects in AutoCAD, and this will help us a lot. Next, we are talking about blocks now. Enhanced blocks palette. In this year's version, we actually have a new panel to make it more neat and easier to organize our blocks. Some of us we depend a lot on blocks. Maybe our company have provided multiple drawings or a single drawing with hundreds of blocks for us to use to save our time, right? So what is the best way for us to actually make use of this drawing that contains lots of blocks? Is actually by using this new feature, which is called the blocks library. Yeah? I actually have a new blocks palette. Aside from that, you can also store your drawing that contains hundreds of blocks in cloud storage, like as I said, Box, Dropbox, Microsoft OneDrive, and of course Autodesk Drive. These are the one that I'm showing are just third-party cloud storage. You can also store in Autodesk cloud drive. Okay, so if you do this, you can also access quickly using the new panel or the new palette. Okay, let me show you. Okay, where to get this. Okay, let's say I want to get the blocks out, right? So just go to view, and then you can actually see that there's a new under view. There's a new palette called blocks. If you click on it, okay, it will come out like this. Let me drag it out. It will come out like this with 3 tabs. Okay, and let me just drag back to snap to the right. Okay, the first tab is called current drawing. It's empty, means that in my current drawing, this drawing, there are no blocks inside. Okay, the second tab will show you your previous drawing, whichever drawing that you opened before this, and you can actually use the block that's inside that drawing. But probably the most useful is the third tab, which is the libraries. This is where you can browse for a particular drawing, and it will show you very nicely here all the blocks. So for example, if I click here and I click browse, I'm actually going to use the sample block. Okay, in case you don't know, every time you install an AutoCAD, okay, there are some sample blocks that you can use for the different kind of discipline, mechanical, electrical, architectural. Okay, by going to here, program files, Autodesk, the version of AutoCAD you're in, sample, EMUS, and design center. Okay, so back to AutoCAD. So this is the one, design center, and we pick whichever one we want. So I took maybe house space planner, and wait for a while, it will load, and it will show us all the block. So now I can just use any of these, just click and place it here. Okay, click, place it here, click and place it here. So imagine if you have a drawing that you update it with blocks all the time, you can actually share with your colleagues, and you can use it online also. So if you were to use maybe OneDrive or something, you can click browse for block, and you should be able to see it here. So I have a OneDrive here, but it's empty because I haven't connected it. Okay, I haven't activated this OneDrive. Okay, so this is how we use the new blocks panel. Okay, if I close this panel, okay, this palette, and I go to the old method, which is to go to insert, and then under insert here you can open. The old method is still showing us current blocks in the current drawing. So this is my current drawing, and you can see I have 5 blocks, but you cannot access blocks from another drawing. To do that, you can also click from here, actually blocks from libraries. Yeah, then you can access it. So when clicking blocks from libraries, you will open again the same panel. So two ways to access this panel. One is by going here and click blocks from libraries. Another method is to go to view and then blocks palette here. Okay, it will also open the same palette. So that is how we manage blocks. If you are heavy on blocks, if you use a lot of blocks. We've come to our last feature, our last key feature for AutoCAD 2021, which is related to XREF. So in this new 2021, we can now do comparison between different XREF drawing. In the previous version, AutoCAD 2020, and I think so it's 2020, we were introduced with a new feature called DWG Compare, which is very good. We can compare between two different drawings and we can see what the difference, what object have been moved or deleted. Now in the 2021 version, they further enhance it to enable us to compare XREF. So if you use a lot of link files, you can now compare what are the differences. Let me show you. Okay, this object here you see is slightly grayed out compared to other objects. Okay, if I click on it, I will see that it is actually an external reference. It comes from another drawing. We insert it here. So to see the XREF, I will type the short key here, XREF, XREF. Press enter. We will get the XREF panel here, and you can see this is the XREF source file. This is the original file, and you can see the circle here and there's a rectangle here. We got 2 circle and 4 rectangle. So let's say you receive a new drawing from your client or another party, which you need to update to your drawing, right? A new XREF. So before we update, we can also do a comparison first. So I can right click here. Okay, I can go to compare. Let me zoom in for you to see. Okay, right click, go to compare, and then you can choose selected file. Okay, so I click on selected file. Next, I will select this is my second XREF, the new XREF. Okay, and then I will click open, and this is what we will see. We will see a screen, and it will show some markups and some color. So what to understand this more, you need to click on this gear shape here, and then maybe click pin. If you don't click pin, it will just hide again. So I'll just click here and click pin, and then I'm going to move this panel to the right a bit and zoom in for you to see better like this. Okay, and all I need to do now is to check. Okay, for example, the red color is stating not in current XREF. Means if I off and on, you can see that this circle here in my current drawing, XREF drawing, is not there, but in the new drawing the circle is there. Okay, so you just need to read and follow the color. So next one, only in current XREF, on and off it. So it means that this circle and this square is in my current drawing, but it seems that in the new drawing it's not there anymore. It got deleted. Okay, so this is how we check, we compare the different XREF. So once we are done, we can just click the green tick here and to close that. And now maybe I'm ready to replace this. I can right click here and you can replace it. So there are a few ways to replace. The most the method that I use the most probably is I'm going to detach it and attach a new one. So I click detach, it's gone. So I go here and click attach DWG, select a new one, XREF source file 2, and okay, just click OK. There it is. You can see the new XREF has lesser rectangle and the circle has been moved here. Okay, so this example, this is an example of how we do XREF comparison. okay, using the new AutoCAD 2021. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to an end of our webinar, our short webinar. It's taking, I think, 40 minutes. Sorry, I take extra 10 minutes of your time. I hope you have learned something new about AutoCAD 2021, and I hope this saved your time so that you don't need to dig more into the documentation to find out what is new in 2021. If you have any other questions related to Autodesk software or training, okay, you can actually contact us later via email. You can actually reply to the email of where you receive your invitation for this webinar. So we'll get back to you soon. Okay, and if you are interested in training in this period of MCO, we actually have online training for you where you can interact with instructor one-to-one, and we'll teach you from the comfort of your home. So thank you very much for attending this webinar. I wish you safe and healthy always. Hope to meet you maybe after the MCO one of these days. Okay, so thank you. Bye.